Hi Harish, how are you?
Hi, sir. I'm fine. Thank you. How are you?
Wonderful, Harish. So today we are going to discuss on something which is very important and relevant for this moment because, as you are aware, students have written their GATE exam in India, and one of the reason why students write GATE exam is to get admission in higher educational courses in India and abroad also. Now we also know that there are only 15-20% student who qualify GATE. Most of the students, like 80% of the students, do not qualify GATE, but they still
Yes.
want to get into really good courses for masters program and all. Now our today's discussion is related to how to get masters courses in foreign universities. And as we are quite aware, the question is not getting admission or not. Obviously we will get admission in one or the other masters course abroad, but there are two questions. Number one, good quality course we need to get, and number two, we need to get the scholarship. And our discussion today is related to that, Harish. So now it is over to you. What we are going to discuss today, Harish, in your perspective, how this is going to be.
Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting video. So I have noted down some of the points which I will explain first. So basically, those who are actually currently on their bachelor's, maybe towards the end of it, the final year, or those who have applied GATE and are not very sure what their rank would be.
Okay.
So those people can look forward to higher education in terms of masters. I understand that it is a bit of a like a difficult job to get opportunities in IITs and NITs in India. But the point is that it is actually a good choice if you want to look abroad about
Okay.
the masters.
Hmm.
So this is for all those people that I've explained. Now to
Hmm.
give you another idea what would be the scholarship. So basically when you look forward to a master's program abroad, different countries have their own scholarship patterns.
Hmm.
And usually what happens is that, for example, University XYZ, you go on to
Hmm.
that university portal and you
Hmm.
apply for masters.
Hmm.
And when you are in the midway of your application, you
Okay.
would able to see a scholarship
Okay.
most of the time. So it would be a reduction in certain amount of
Hmm.
funding or
Hmm.
the fees that you would have to pay for the whole year. The
Hmm.
interesting part is that you can definitely save 1 year if you want to
Hmm.
do masters abroad, because
Hmm.
most of the masters courses are 1 year program only abroad
Okay. Hmm.
in most of the countries. However,
Hmm.
it is 2 years in India and in
Hmm.
some of the Asian countries.
Hmm.
Uh, so, I will actually show some of the opportunities which I have
Hmm.
found.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, okay, so this particular opportunity, if you can see my screen,
Yes.
uh,
Hmm.
that is that is in the University of Melbourne in Australia, which is a very good university. Uh, as you can see here, actually the masters portals, the application portals opened a little bit before, like 4 5 months before September, but because that is the major intake session, so it would be open about that time. But
Hmm.
you can have a look. So these are some of the key points that they've explained. So 100% fee remission and up to 135,000 Australian dollars.
Okay. Hmm.
That is a really good amount. And
Hmm.
you can see here 1 or more years. And this is
Hmm.
for masters. I'll show you
Hmm.
here.
Hmm.
So if you want to do a masters
Hmm.
in the University of Melbourne, so
Hmm.
living allowance of
Hmm.
38,500 per year, which is
Hmm.
a good amount, like decent amount.
Hmm.
And you see here, masters by research. Now
Hmm.
I have to clarify certain things.
Hmm.
Masters by research and a typical masters is slightly different.
Okay.
When you do masters by research,
Hmm.
you imagine it doing like a mini PhD. Like it's
Okay.
let's say 15% of a PhD program, and you do it in
Okay.
a year.
Okay.
So because it is research, that is
Hmm.
why they are paying you
Okay.
like the living allowances and all.
Hmm.
They will fund you.
Hmm.
So they call it research masters,
Hmm.
and this is
Hmm.
the funding. But yeah, of course, for doctoral degrees like PhD, they have a better funding.
Hmm.
But anyways,
Hmm.
so So if you want to like apply, first you need to see the eligibility criteria. So this is
Mm,
pretty straightforward. You have applied for the meet the requirements, okay? And for
mm,
masters, let me tell you, it is very generalized, but they do not need a lot of education background or a very high background of students. They do not need it. And you can let's say if you have a like a decent score of CGPA of about 6.5 throughout your
mm,
career or 7, you
mm,
definitely should be able to apply like positively,
mm,
as per
mm.
my experience.
Okay.
And if you manage to get it, so it is really like a good opportunity to see. So
Okay.
if I'm clicking this, so you see here the graduate research, the domestic application, and the international application. You go on
Mm,
to the internal applications, and then you see here all the details, your
mm,
entry requirements, your applications. So you go
mm,
on. I'm sure that they would have something like related to English
mm,
criteria, eligibility,
mm,
and all that stuff. You see an overall average of greater than 75% in the
mm,
final year of a course
mm,
equivalent. So it's like 75% if you transfer your CGPA.
mm,
So let's say about 7.5 CGPA or maybe 8 CGPA about that
mm,
during your bachelor's, because this is a slightly high because they are paying you scholarship. That
mm,
is why they have a higher cutoff, but usually it isn't the case.
mm, mm,
So yeah, sometimes
mm,
sometimes because it is a research masters, you need to find a supervisor.
mm,
And don't worry, it would not be a lot of work. I'm sure that you would be able to find, like the students would be able to find
mm,
some supervisor for sure, definitely. It is
mm,
not. And writing a research proposal, you can definitely reach out to us and we can help out writing a research proposal.
mm,
English language requirement, I keep on telling when I meet someone like students.
mm.
So it is really good to have IELTS score or TOEFL score with you ready. Always don't wait for the very last moment, but you should have it. So this is one of the opportunity, and I would like to share
Okay,
another.
so Harish, can I ask you a couple of things from here?
Yeah, yeah, please.
This is a 1 year course or 2 years course, which you are just mentioning.
This is 1 year course
Okay, so in 1 year
of the
course also you
masters.
get, okay, so you get the scholarship in that also.
Yeah, and
Okay.
and just to give you a little more background of this one. So in University College Dublin, Ireland,
Okay.
and in Ireland there is a course called Research Masters.
Okay.
So it is they get paid exactly the same amount as PhDs,
Okay.
but their contract is for a year or so. So they
Uh,
basically they do research, but that is
mm,
not a PhD program.
okay.
So they do research. So and it is fully funded. Your tuition
Mm.
fees are paid by the university, and then you get paid on monthly basis as a part of your scholarship.
But is 1 year course good enough to, then later on apply for PhD program? Let's say some student is interested to go for PhD later on.
Yeah, even like surprisingly, so I know some people, they are what they're trying to do for now is that they're trying to convert their research masters
Mm,
into PhD. For example, let's imagine that I have had a 2 years of contract for research masters and I'm
mm,
in the verge of completion of that contract. I want
mm,
to extend it for two
mm,
more years and I
mm,
get to extend that. There are
mm,
conditions, but yeah, if I get to extend that, so next 2 years it would be extended, and by the
mm,
completion of the next 2 years, I would get my PhD
mm, mm,
project.
mm,
It is
mm,
really amazing. You start as a master's, but eventually you are
mm,
doing a PhD
yeah.
in the same duration. And
Mm,
to get a PhD, slightly difficult than to get a research master's. But research
obviously.
master's opportunities are not very much available. They're very selected. You need to have the skill sets in order to get that. But
Mm,
definitely it is worth having a look.
mm,
This is another university again in Australia, the University of Sydney,
mm,
and they haven't actually revealed. I was going through it. They haven't revealed the total amount of the scholarship that they are paying. Like I mentioned before, there are two
mm,
kinds of scholarship. One is the university level or the national level, and then there is international level. So if we can
mm,
look at this one, Australian government research. So
mm,
this is the national level scholarship, and up to
mm,
3.5 years for PhD, up to
mm,
1.75 years for master's students. You say it is
mm,
1.5 years for masters,
mm,
and
mm,
they cover stipend and fees.
mm,
So that's what it is all about. And there are some other opportunities. So this is like the University College Dublin in Ireland. And if you can browse through these websites, you can definitely have a look at the scholarship. You see, this is Government of Ireland scholarship. This is Universitas 21 scholarship. So this is basically 21 universities in Europe. They have combined and they support research. So they pay it. So Government of Ireland, universities, so all these scholarship you can avail. There are eligibility criteria, but definitely it is worth having a look at that.
mm,
This is another university. It is in Technical University Dublin, Ireland,
mm,
and these are some of the the details of the course. Masters in engineering. This is the number of credits that you have to complete. So one module is actually 10 credits or 15 credits. So which is in India it is typically 3 credits, 4 credits, but they have like 10 credits, 15 credits. So you have 90 subjects. So you know how many subjects you have to clear in the year. And they have also mentioned the fees. Now this would, if I translate, this would be 13 lakh Indian rupees, which is actually not a lot considering in Ireland.
mm,
And also, I'm sure that you would get some scholarship on top of this one if you
mm,
apply. So you
mm,
just need to be careful about the eligibility criteria and all, and how to apply and all. They have clearly mentioned in here. If you go on
mm,
to this one, it shows you sign in, and once you do that and start your application, in the middle of it, you would be getting the scholarship details and all.
mm, mm.
Yeah. So that
Okay, so
is,
Harish, there are students who get admit in master's program, and tell me, like, if suppose they don't get a scholarship at the time of admission, is there any probability once they land up there, they start pursuing their master's program, they will get scholarship?
yeah, it is possible.
Hmm.
There is another concept called seed funding.
Okay.
So what happens is that this is basically to support early career students. So
Hmm.
and this is basically at university level.
Okay.
So universities, because they have a lot of funding in Western countries, so what they do is that they open these funding applications once in a while. You apply to
Hmm.
the seed funding, you write your proposal. I need
Hmm.
this money for this reason.
Okay.
And if you get it through, you would be provided support, financial
Hmm.
support for that.
Hmm.
Definitely, if you haven't got it for the first time that you have applied, it is not necessary that you wouldn't get it in the near future. Definitely you can
Hmm.
apply and positively you can get it.
I was asking like merit-based, scholarship if they can get. Like, suppose in the first semester you really performed very well, and the professor is convinced that you have research acumen and research bent of mind, and you have done very good work in the research in masters. So, is there any possibility like you can convince graduate school or professor on the basis of your performance that some scholarship is offered to you?
Yeah, indeed, you can do that. Definitely.
Hmm.
If you are
Hmm.
performing well, they would be more than happy to assist you with any
Hmm.
financial aid. That is really
Hmm.
possible. Yeah.
Hmm. Because that is seen in India also, Harish. Like, suppose you don't get your TA or so RA at the time of admission in IIT system, then
Mm.
on the basis of your performance in first semester, in case department cannot pay you a stipend, then professor from his project funding or something
Yeah,
certainly help those students who are in need of it. So, in India also there are economic, this cases on the basis of the financial position of the family. Sometimes
mm,
students want to study, they don't get the scholarship, and then later on professor help them.
yeah, that is possible abroad as
Mm.
well.
Yeah.
So now we are coming into the part that what happens
Mm.
after you are done
Mm.
with your masters.
Okay.
So basically, there are two ways that I look
Mm.
at this. So one
Mm.
is jobs,
Mm.
another is research, and it
Okay.
is very subjective depending
Mm.
on the individual that is doing or pursuing masters. For
Mm.
example, if you look forward to a job,
mm,
doesn't matter if it is research masters or a regular master,
mm.
you would need to apply to applications in that
Okay.
particular country that you have done it, or in the
Mm,
region. For example, if
mm,
someone has done in the European, in anywhere in the Europe, let's say
mm,
a part of European Union, he would be able to
mm,
apply to most of the countries in European Union. Like if someone has done it from Ireland, he would be able to apply to Italy, Germany, France,
mm, mm,
in the UK. So all
mm,
these countries, they would welcome all these
mm,
students.
mm, mm,
Next is research.
mm.
So what happens is that we do not tend to have a knowledge of what
Mm,
we are going to do when we do masters. While
mm,
while I was doing masters,
mm,
I was pretty clear in my head that I want to do a PhD. But
mm,
most of my peers, my friends,
mm,
they were not sure what they want to do.
mm.
So they just
Okay.
went on with the flow.
Okay.
So, so if you really immerse yourself in the masters in the field of
Mm,
research, and
mm.
this is, let me tell you very clearly from my side, that there are lots of opportunities
Okay.
in abroad
Mm.
for PhD. If you are doing a
Okay.
masters in abroad,
From here. Okay.
yeah,
Mm,
from there it is like the chances of getting
mm,
PhD if you are in a
mm,
foreign country
mm.
increases significantly compared to
Okay.
if you are applying through India.
Oh, understood. Mm,
Yeah. Also, you can definitely look for job opportunities. So what?
mm,
Okay. So this is very interesting topic that I want to tell. Like
mm,
what happens placement scenario
mm,
in India is that
mm.
campus
Okay.
placement happen and they invite companies. They
Yes.
come there and they select some of the students and
Mm,
they get away with that.
mm.
But in abroad or foreign countries, what happen is that they assist students for
Mm.
applying to companies.
Okay. Mm,
Companies come to the campus. What
mm.
they do is that they preach what they
Mm,
are doing and why you
mm.
should apply for that company. They
Okay.
don't directly hire when they come to the university. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
fair where they
Mm,
sell their stuff, their product, their service,
mm,
and
mm,
they tell you that why you should join us.
okay. Mm,
And once they leave, you can
mm,
get contact details
mm,
from there
mm,
at that point. And
mm,
once they leave the campus, you can
mm.
reach them back through
Okay.
email
Mm,
or through
mm,
LinkedIn, howsoever
mm,
they have contacted you. And the
mm,
university would actually support you in some
mm,
aspects, like you can have like interview. They would
mm,
support, let's say a
mm,
mock interview, that kind of
mm,
stuff. The university they
mm,
support. So
mm.
it works different than India. Companies
Okay.
come in India to universities to
Mm,
hire, or just companies come in abroad university to sell
mm,
themselves, and then they
mm,
go back and then you approach them and then they
mm,
hire you. So it doesn't
mm,
matter what university you are in. If you are
mm,
credible enough, there is
mm.
a very good chance that you would get through it.
So can we say, Harish, that the money which a student will invest in his master's program, in case he does not get fully funded scholarship, he that money can come back to him when he gets the opportunity in PhD, because PhD, as you said, probability is very high. So suppose I see it this way, that I don't get PhD after BTech, or suppose I go for masters in Europe, then I spend, let's say, 15-20 lakh rupees. I took loan, I spent that money with the hope that the moment I get PhD or something, slowly I'll return that loan. With the certainty that after masters, suppose I'm interested only in PhD, that after master मेरे को PhD मिल जाएगा, so I'll get scholarship and I'll return it back.
Yeah, it depends. Like it is very dependable, and I think for PhD it can be a bit of a struggle to pay that money back. It might take
Okay,
few years, but if you
okay,
get a job, it
okay.
would
It
you
will
can
easier.
pay. Yeah, it is a lot easier because PhD
Okay.
stipends are not as high as the jobs.
Jobs are, yes, no
Yeah,
doubt. And it makes
but
sense
there
that
is.
you do job for some year, then do PhD.
You can do that, absolutely.
Mm,
So I
mm,
know someone who was in a job. He's from structural engineering and he is Irish.
mm,
I don't know him personally, but I've heard his name. So he did masters and he was doing a job, and then while doing a job, he was
mm,
doing a PhD, a part-time
mm,
PhD. He
mm,
completed his PhD, and once
mm,
you do your PhD, he was doing the job and the PhD part-time. And when
mm,
you have a PhD degree, your growth is exponential in industry.
mm, mm,
Your salary is like it
mm,
goes like crazy high.
mm,
And then
mm,
now he is in a very senior lead position in that industry. because
Mm,
he had completed the PhD while
mm,
doing the job. So that is
mm,
also possible. But you have
mm.
to have the right skills, right
Yes.
mindset
Yes.
for that. But there
Mm,
are really a lot of opportunities that you can explore.
wonderful. So, Harish, a lot of inputs from your side, and the most important was like if you get a master's program, what is 1 year's master program, how it can be a stepping stone for PhD, and how to get the scholarships, and you need to search for that, and you can try for that. Even if when you get master's program abroad, you don't get scholarship at the time of application, you may get a little later also. Back home, students think that I'll join the master program only if I get the scholarship, but it can be like maybe you get the admit and then later on you may get the scholarship. That also option is there,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, wonderful, Harish. So I think that brings us to an end of this wonderful session with you, Harish.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
I'll
you
catch
so
you
much.
once again.
My
Thank you.
pleasure.